Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Zevallos. I am a Customer Success Manager taking care of South Europe in clinical solutions for Elsevier. Today, we are going to learn how to use ClinicalKey, and not only that, we are going to be updated with the new features in ClinicalKey if you already used ClinicalKey before. Before beginning this session, I want you to share with you all the platforms that we have in clinical solutions that maybe you have access in your institution, and you can ask directly to the librarian or the person that is in charge of all the platforms. If you don't know who contact, you can contact directly to me. I am going to write down my email in here so you can contact me, and I am going to act as a bridge between your institution and us, and they can help you with everything in that. So let's go to see which are these platforms. And we are going to see that in clinical solutions in Elsevier, we have different specialized platforms that can help us. In education, in the part of medicine, we have ClinicalKey Student for universities. In hospitals, we have ClinicalKey Pharmacology, ClinicalKey, that it's the platform that we are going to see today, Fisterra, that it's for primary care, order sets, and then we have the specialized one that is for the radiology. We have Rad Primer, Study X. In oncology, we have Clinical Path, and in pathology, Path Primer, Expert Path, and Immunoquery. For nursing, for nurses, we have NNN Consult and clinical skills. And more or less, this is the solutions that we manage in South Europe based in clinical solutions. So after this, we are going to get directly to the hospital place, and we are going to go to ClinicalKey. What is ClinicalKey? ClinicalKey is a medical content platform that provides access to the latest medical evidence to support decision making. We have a search engine in here that you can type the question that you have, and based in trust medical information, you will going to have the answer that you are looking for. In ClinicalKey, we help in all the stages that you will have in the moment that you will be. For example, if you want or you need to find a quick answer, if you are developing or confirm assessment or treatment plan for a patient, to keep abreast of the latest thinking in a field of a specialty, for learning purposes, for teaching purposes, and for clinical research. Right now, we just changed the first part of ClinicalKey. We have a new phase, and before beginning and tell you how to register and how to go directly to ClinicalKey, I want to share with you these upgrades. So we have, this is in Portuguese, we have these updates in ClinicalKey that will take you to not only getting in to have all the resources, also to the point of care. It's more based in point of care, and it will be easy for you to get to that content. As you can see in our screen, this is the layout that we have before, and right now it has changed. Before, we have all the browse, all the content that was hidden, and right now we try to open it up so it will be easy for you to navigate into this content and have it more clearly. Also, the interface of searches has changed, and you can see all the results, the clinical results in a first viewing the first results when you are doing a search. This is the classic view, because we maintain two kind of view inside ClinicalKey, one related to research and the other that it's more based in point of care. So you will see, and now when we get into ClinicalKey, we are going to see that we have this toggle, and with this toggle, we can see the classic view, that it will be more based on research and in, to find more information. And then what we have is the new view, that it's the point of care. In point of care view, we have one thing that it's now updated, that it's related to the content of the clinical overviews. When we are seeing these tabs, these tags that can help you to get into a specific part of the clinical overview. In this case, we have summary, diagnosis, workup, and treatment. As you can see, they have their own color, so it will be easy to you to get into the specific content that you are looking for in point of care. So in general, what we are implementing in ClinicalKey and what we are going to include, it's more content, more and a wide content, and more in the related to dermatology, orthopedics, and also inside this great volume of clinical overviews and information about hypertension, atrial fibrillation, diabetes, and more information about drugs. So with all this information, we are going right now to ClinicalKey, and we are going to see how to enter into ClinicalKey and navigate and how to use it. As you can see, when you are going in your institution the first time that you log to or you going to ClinicalKey, you need to be in the IP ranges of your institution. So in this case, it will be in the same hospital, or if you are due to UVPN or another kind of access, what you are going to see, it's ClinicalKey.com, and you can do the searches, browsing different content, as I said, or in this depend of knowledge. The idea here in ClinicalKey is to take advantage of all these tools that we have inside. So what we recommend is to create a user, because with your registered user will be easy to connect from your devices, not only from your institution, from outside your institution, and not only in Portugal, also abroad. So for that reason, let me share with you what are these benefits of having the registered user. As you can see in Anonymous and in Register, we have 4 points that are to read books, to read journals, to read other kind of content, and to print this content. If you have your registered user, it will be easy for you to get in from mobiles in a remote way, of course, to download PDF of books that as they are protected, you can only use them since where you have your registered user. And another type of content, you can save them in your profile, create tags, and then of course you can obtain credits in formación médica continuada. You can create presentations in PowerPoint with the images inside ClinicalKey, and you can recover the historic of your searches and saved searches. So with all that information, we are going back to ClinicalKey and we are going to create our user. If you don't know that you have a user in ClinicalKey, maybe you will have a user of Scopus or Science Direct. It's easy to check it, very easy. So you go, instead of going to register, you can go in these 3 lines and go to remote access. What are you going to do is to write your email address. Let's pretend that I am going to see another account, but the account that you are going to use is your institutional account. So you can put it directly in here and the system is going to tell you if you have a user or not. So applying to a remote access will take you directly to our register form. If you are not included, if you don't have a profile in ClinicalKey. So I click in continue and it says that my institution, it's not has this remote access enabled, so it's not in ClinicalKey. So I click here in register and directly create my profile. If it says that I have it, I am going to receive an email. So I need to check my password and get into directly to ClinicalKey. If I don't have this, let's go to register and it will be very easy for you. Put in your name and last name. Okay, everything that is with an asterisk is going to be the mandatory points that you need to follow to create your personal account in ClinicalKey. So as I said, you need to put your institutional email, a password, the easy password that you want to put it in here and you will remember. And of course, that you need to read or understood the registered user agreement. If you want to receive information from us, for example, this kind of sessions or updates in ClinicalKey, you need to click in I wish to receive information, select your role and the areas of interest, and then register. With all this information, you can log in ClinicalKey with your email address, as I said, the previous that we have, and then the password. And it will take you directly to your user in ClinicalKey. And as I said, we are going to apply to remote access. The next step will be to put our name in here with email in here to do this second step. That it doesn't appear in here, it will appear in your user as a remote access. From here, you click and put it in here, your email address, and you are going to receive a link in your email. This screen is not going to appear with you, and you will receive a email with a link for the remote access activation. With this link, the page is going to update, and then it will say set at the end that you will have your remote access activated. And with this, you need to be sure that that you can access not only from your mobile outside your institution, as I said, in any part of the world. Okay, because your institutional email and IPs. Okay, so let's go directly right now to ClinicalKey and let's do an example in here. If you want to see anything related to your specialty, you can put it some examples in the chat, so I can follow them. But right now I have this example. We are on the month of Alzheimer's disease, so I decided to do a search about Alzheimer. Well, as I said, this is the search in ClinicalKey, and then we have the browse of the content. In the search, you can put information, well, the question that you have about conditions, treatments, drugs, books, journals, and a specific information that you need to put in the search. From the beginning, you can directly put the type of content that you are looking for, and or put it in all types and type directly your search. In this case, as I said, we are going to search for Alzheimer. As you can see, when I'm writing the few letters, it will appear different kind of results or searches related what I am looking for. So this is the intelligence here in ClinicalKey that will take you more or less to the information that it will be easy for you to search. So in this case, we are going to put Alzheimer's disease, and as I said, you are going to have the information here. How it's based, this information. As you can see, we are seeing right now the classic view, and I am going to tell you which is the differences. On the left side, we have all the filters related to content, to the type of article, also the specialties and the date of publication. What we have on the middle are the full text that it's available in ClinicalKey. And in the right side, it depends on the search that I am doing. In this case, it's a book related to what I am looking for, and a clinical overview related to Alzheimer's disease. As you can see, we have results in English and we have results in Portuguese. In this case, because we have 2 journals in Portuguese included in ClinicalKey, and we have patient education handouts in Portuguese also in ClinicalKey and related to the search that we already did. So as you can see now, this platform, it's in English, and the content, of course, it's in English and Portuguese, but you have the facility of change the language of the platform, not the content, but at least the platform. If you go to your profile, you can go to change language, and from here you can change to Portuguese, and the platform will update into Portuguese. With everything, all the titles will change to Portuguese, but not that content, as I said. Another thing that I just said is that the classic view, the toggle with the classic view, and the toggle with the point of care view. So as you can see here, we have a clinical overview, articles, and some information that in this case, it's in order in relevance, but we have also of date of publication. And we are going to change to the point of care view, well, where we are going to have clinical results first, and then the others results. The four first results will be related to clinical overviews, drugs, monographs, guidelines, and as I said, clinical results. In this case, we have some clinical overviews and articles, information that are related, are more clinical in this case. As I said, also and we showed that before in the clinical overviews. Right now we have these different points that are going directly to a specific point in the clinical overview. If we go back to the classic view, it doesn't appear in here. This is the same result, but if you go directly to the new view, it will appear in here. So if you want to see, for example, in a clinical overview related to Alzheimer's disease and go directly to diagnosis, it will take you to this part of the clinical overview. So what is a clinical overview? A clinical overview is the update information about related to a disease. In this case, it's Alzheimer's disease, and we have all information updated, not only coming from Elsevier, also from other sources, and they are evidence-based information with everything related with a specific disease. In this case, we have around 600 clinical overviews, and in this part of the year, we are adding more clinical overviews inside ClinicalKey. Later, I am going to tell you where you can find all the clinical overviews in a list, so you can have and go directly to them. In here, you have the urgent actions related, then the terminology, diagnosis, procedures. Not only that, we have treatment, well, everything that you can have about this Alzheimer's disease. And as I said, they are evidence-based information with references that we can see in the list of references at the end of this clinical overview. And then we can go directly outside ClinicalKey to see the cross-reference in there. As you can see, there are not only information coming from Elsevier, also from others editors. In this case, we have this article coming outside ClinicalKey, coming from PubMed, and you can read it. So in ClinicalKey, we have this information that it's inside ClinicalKey, and then we can go also jump outside ClinicalKey. So if you go to the top of this information, as I said, one of the benefits of having your user of ClinicalKey is to save content in your profile. So we can save this content if we go to the star that we have in here, and we can create a tag that it's like a folder where you are going to save all this content in your profile. Well, I already create one tag, but let's see, you can create a new tag and put a name in here. For example, in this case, and I create this tag where everything it's going to be in there if I want to get more articles, chapters of books, and so on, and I can save them in my profile. Another thing that I want to show you is that all the information in ClinicalKey, it's you can save it, you can print it, or you can download it. In the case of the clinical overviews, we don't have a PDF format, but we have this print way of saving the information. If we go directly to print, we can save it on the PDF format where we can download and see in other moments if we want. So right now there are 20 pages more or less, so it taking a little time to show us the previous way. And from here, I can save it on my profile. It says 24 pages and we have everything and save it. Okay, so let's pretend that we are doing a research about Alzheimer. We are going to write an article, or we are obtaining many information for a clinical case. And we need to obtain many types of contents in ClinicalKey that we want to share with our colleagues. ClinicalKey gives us the opportunity of share this information that I save in my profile. So you go directly in your profile to save content, and from here, it will appear all the tags that you have. In my case, I have a lot of tags, so it takes a little time to take everything because I have like, well, you see, more than 1,000 content in my profile, and here you have the tags. This is the one that I just created with one document, but well, let's pretend that we are going to see another one that I have with many information in here. As you see, I have 8 items and we want to share them with our colleagues. You can share it only the ones that you click on them, or you can select all at the same time and then you can send them by email. What you need to put in here is the email of the recipients and then click on send. What we are sending are the links to the content in ClinicalKey. So the other persons that or the recipients of the email need to have access to ClinicalKey to see the full text. But it will be easy for them not to doing again the same search that you already did to get all this information. So I am going back to our search, and we are going to search, for example, for information about education, patient education information. So we can put directly here in the search patient education information and do the search again. So you can use the filters as you want. You can click on different ones and it will take you all the information that you need to know. In this case, we have 13 that are in English and 36 that are in Portuguese. So we have many different patient education handouts, not only in English and in Portuguese, we have in other languages, and I am going to show you some in different languages that you can use them to the patients if they don't speak Portuguese, for example. In this case, we have this Alzheimer's disease, and if you click on here, you will see that it appears many different languages. As an example, I am going to go in there and you can see the patient education handouts. In this case, the base it's in English, but we can print and we can have this in other languages. The idea of these patient education handouts is to have information very clear and very easy to read for your patient or their family, not only based on disease, also in, for example, procedures or taking medication and specific things that can help your patients to have more and specific information coming from their physicians. So it's different if they have this information coming from you that if they have this information in Google, for example. So you can go directly here to click on print and you can personalize. Let's pretend that we are going to have this in Portuguese and, well, I'm going to write in English, sorry, and you can put some personalization in this case to read this information before the next session, for example, and your name of contact. In this case, if it's the first time that you are taking care of this patient and you want them to keep your name or a telephone of urgency in the hospital, if you have in your service an email that everyone can check, for example, you can include it. This is the size of the text. The standard size is this, the medium, but you have also the big and the small one. When you have all this information, you can create a PDF to print and to get into your patient, or you can email it. We are going to have 3 different ones, so you can see that the same patient education handout can be in different languages. We are going to put it in traditional Chinese, for example. And we are going to have another one, for example, in another one that it will be Arabic. So let's go to the first one that we have in Portuguese, so you can see the difference between them. The first page is the same for all the 3 of them, with the personalization that I already did. In the second page, you will have the translated handout, in this case in Portuguese. If there is an image that had something written in a certain language, it will be translated in that language. So it's in this case in Portuguese, we have the same in Chinese, and of course we have this same in Arabics, as you can see. So you can help your patient, it doesn't matter the language that they speak, to have it clear the disease or the treatment that they are going to have, and ClinicalKey will help you with this also. So let's go back to the search. We are going to see the not only what we have, and in this case, I am going to clean all the results and put it for everything. And let's see, well, we are going to see, let's go again to all, how we can see articles in ClinicalKey. Let's go to this first one, article in ClinicalKey. And as you can see, you can read it online. And if you are in your mobile, for example, the size of your mobile, it's like this. And ClinicalKey fits on the page without any issue. All the description and everything that you have on the left side will appear down, and you can navigate in all the content. Everything related to where it's located, we have it in here on the right, so it will be easy for you to navigate from any device. If you don't have enough connection, internet connection, or if you want to have this article downloaded directly, we can go to the top of the article, and you will see that we have the opportunity of download this article from ClinicalKey in the paper version. In this case, it's not directly an article that it's in ClinicalKey. This is a pre-proof. It's a article in press, and you know that you can have it before it's in the journal in this case. So you can read it, you have this directly in your computer or in your mobile, save it without using the internet connection. So ClinicalKey gives you the opportunity of use it, read it, download it wherever you are, save this content again. For example, if we want to include it in our tag that we just said, see before, all the content, for example, of the handouts, also the patient handouts, we can save it in here. So right now well, we have this information for the clinical session that we are going to have, and we are looking for information. Let's see that you are doing a clinical session or a session related to the Alzheimer in your hospital. But before beginning with that information, let's pretend that you need to see information of Alzheimer, but not only in your hospital. You want to know what is going on right now with Alzheimer in Europe. So let's go into to have this search about Alzheimer in Europe, and we are going to see, for example, figures and some information in multimedia with photos and results. So we change here in multimedia and do the search. From here, my recommendation to see images is to change to the classic view. In the classic view, you will have all the images in one, and it will be easy to click on them and see the image in real size, or going directly to the source to read all the information about this image. Well, let's pretend that we need some information. There is some photos, images, and different things that we want to save. Okay, in this case, I have 4. And the second step, we saw before that we have the star for saving content, and only 4 images we are going to go to this screen that it's to create presentations of PowerPoint, and we can create one, or if we have another one that I create this morning, for example, I am going to add them into my profile. These images will be saved in my profile in Conteúdo Salvo, in Save Content. In Apresentações that are in my profile. As you can see, I have a complete list since 3 years ago, and it will be continuing in my profile. I am not going to lose them. So it's easy for you to go back, edit this. For example, if you see one image that it's not useful for you, you can click on it and delete it. When you have everything, the next step is to export to presentation of PowerPoint, and it will be downloaded, and you will have all this information. What you will have in the PowerPoint presentation will be these images, in each one in a different slide, with all the information related to the image, with the image, the reference, the top of the image, and then the copyright. It's important that if you are going to use this image, you need to include the reference and the copyright. So the image, you can use it, the presentation from here. If you are going to use it, you can change the design. It's not necessary that having the logo of ClinicalKey or Elsevier. Or if you have another document, you can copy and paste, and you can adapt the image to your document. But remember, as I said, to take the reference and the copyright. In which situations you can use these images of ClinicalKey? If you are doing this clinical session inside your hospital, or if you are going to do a class, if you are a professor, you are going to do a class, and your institution is the university that has this subscription of ClinicalKey, you can use it. If you are a university user of ClinicalKey, and you are doing your thesis, you can use these images. But for example, if you are a researcher that you are writing an article and you see an image that you can use it, or you are doing some a congress and the presentation will be on internet, everything that it's outside your institution. So what you need to do is to ask for permission, because everything in ClinicalKey is protected. So what you need to do is this second step, going back to ClinicalKey, to the images, check into the image that you want to share, for example. And then from here, you can see that you can see this image in a real size, or go directly to the source. So in this case, it's very useful because you know where is that image coming from, and you can read all this article coming from the beginning. You can read all the articles, in this case of the Lancet Neurology, and of course you can obtain the rights and the content. So for that, we are going to click on here, and it will appear a format that you can complete. In some cases, it will appear an email address. So it doesn't matter the type. What you are going to do in this case is to select the type that you need, for example, to write an article. And at the end, when you complete all these questions, ClinicalKey will tell you if it's for free or if you have to pay something. In the situation that you have here an email, we recommend you to write an email to that person, so you can have this right directly. Okay, going back to ClinicalKey, we have in this case the Lancet, and as I said, we can also has an update every month. We can receive all the new issues of the journals in our profile. It depends on the time when it appears, of course. So in here you have the alert of new issues, and you can receive them directly in your email. It's for free, and all the journals in ClinicalKey are made for this. So what you are going to receive, it's the table of content of the journal when they appear the new issue. It's easy also to cancel this alert without any problem. If you want to see all the list of the journals, you can go directly from here, from browse to periodicos, or if you are in the first page of ClinicalKey, you can go directly from here to see all the list of the journals. As I said in the beginning, we have two journals in Portuguese that we have it in here. That is the Revista Brasileira de Anestesiología and the Revista Brasileira de Ortopedia. But the rest are in English, so we have them filtered by specialty. If you want to see all related of your specialty, for example, if you are from internal medicine, you can click on it and you will have all the list of the journals related to your specialty. And for example, let's go to the current opinion in cell biology, for example, and then you will see, well, in this case, let's go to another one. I don't know why it's not acting correctly. It's JAK one. Well, I think that here I have one issue. I am going to go back to here. Let's refresh this. I think that we have something. that it's related with, yeah, we have here an issue coming from, I think, the language, but only in the journals. So you can see here that we have the journal, we have all the volumes and all the issues also. In this case of the Jack journals, coming from 2008 and 7, sorry, and you can look for the information that you want. You have also a search engine in here where you can look directly with the article that you are looking for or related articles. Also, you have the subscription bell from here, and also the RSS, or if you want to save this journal in your profile, you can do this, okay? So the same for books. If you want to see the list of books that you have in ClinicalKey related to your specialty, or you can look it for the beginning of the name of the book, or if you want, you don't remember clearly the title, but you know that there is something with these 4 letters, you can write it down and it will appear all the list of books inside ClinicalKey. In this case, I entered to the Netter's cardiology and it will appear all the chapters. You can do a search inside the book. And of course, the books, most of them has videos that you can see them from ClinicalKey. Okay, so as I told you, all the results, all the content that it's inside, it's in the browse, and you can browse everything inside. We don't have too much time to see everything, I am going directly to procedures. So you can see all the procedures that are in ClinicalKey. By specialties, we are going to go, for example, to the family medicine, general medicine. We have this list of procedures, and we are going to go, for example, to this injection of shoulder. Okay, well, we have many different operations and surgeries and everything inside ClinicalKey, but let's go to something, well, I don't know why, maybe it's my connection. I'm going to update it and click again. So let's go again. Because I am having issues. If you have a question, please, you can write it down before I am going to do a trick in here. So maybe it's my connection, but I can put it in here, something that do a trick. Okay, I'm from here. Okay, we are here again. Okay, so as I said, we have all this information. We can browse information in ClinicalKey. We were going to see the procedures that we have in here, and we were going to see this procedure. Well, let's put something, for example, well, in the injection shoulder that I put it again. Yes, I think that I have a problem with my connection, but well, I am going to click on any other one. And well, yeah, we are going to see here. I have it. Sorry, because my connection is not working properly, but well, right now it appears. And we have the video of the procedure, and then we have the procedure in text with everything related with that procedure, beginning from the pre-procedure, all the introduction, contraindications, the equipment, of course, the anatomy related to this procedure, and what it's going to do step by step. Everything it's evidence-based, so you will see all the reference at the end of the page. And of course, you have the video.
An abscess is localized infection characterized by a collection of pus surrounded by inflamed tissue. A small abscess may respond to warm compresses or antibiotics and drain spontaneously.
And it will be
However, the
telling
treatment
you
of choice
step
for an
by
abscess
step
is incision and drainage.
all
If this treatment is
the
done properly, antibiotics are usually unnecessary.
all the steps about these
The equipment
procedures,
includes local
like the equipment and so on. When I am talking also many times about this, many of you ask me if you can download these videos. These videos are protected, but and you can't download it, but you can use them without any issue outside your institution. If you are a professor in the university also, you can use them without any issue using the URL of this video. It's not problem because we have the logo of ClinicalKey included in the video. And what I recommend is to save this video so it will be easy for you to show it. But remember, if you are outside your institution, remember to get into the remote access to get into the video properly from your user. Okay, so more or less, this is ClinicalKey. As I said, this is only a view of everything, how to access, to get into that. But of course, you need to play and do searches and see all the benefits by your side and see everything in here. What I want to share with you also, it's that we have our resource center for Portugal. So I am going to share with you the link of the research center. We have it in Portuguese, and we have many information in here that maybe can be useful for you with guides. If we go down, we have the guides to access ClinicalKey and the features that we saw today, how to create a personal account, how to create a presentation, how to be updated in your specialty, and how to create tags. Also information that can be useful for institution. We have a ClinicalKey app also that you can download for Apple and for Android. And of course, our training sessions that we are doing every month, and like this basic session, and then we have also advanced sessions. For the advanced sessions, we have the lucky of have a colleague that is Lais Junqueira that do these trainings in English. There are the more advanced trainings. We have the calendar here with the trainings that will be the ones that I am doing in English for the basic one. And then we have the advanced one that we have also the videos and recordings in here that you can see them. The next one will be on the 33 of September, and you can subscribe from here, inscribe to register to this session without any issue for the next one in the 33 of September and the next one in the 18th of November that are different. One is the tools for help professionals in health, and the other is how to prepare classes and presentation with ClinicalKey. If you don't have any other question, I want to say thank you to you to come to this session. We also have well, a question. If you have any issue, you can contact directly here and email us. Remember that you have a reference person in your institution that can help you also if you have any issue, you don't know how to access outside your institution to ClinicalKey for the first time, for example. And if you don't have, if you don't know who is, please remember to contact me and I am going to act as a bridge. If you need a specific institution session, you can write directly to me too, and we can build a specific clinical session for your institution, not only online. We begin again to do these trainings face-to-face. We are planning some trips to Portugal to do trainings in different institutions, and we are going to be very happy to know you in person. So, obrigada to doing this session. You have here my email. If you have any question related to this session, or if you want to do a session in your institution. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Obrigada. And see you again in another session. Bye-bye.